So you might have been on Interchange and killed Killer, and you've stumbled across his body after you've killed him by some sheer miracle through his power slide abilities, and you find that he has an RPK on his body. Now, I believe that the RPK is one of the best 5.45 guns in Escape from Tarkov, and today we're going to be getting into some of the build guides about this gun, some recommendations for part choices on this gun, and why I believe it's the best gun for 5.45. So obviously, just like all the other build guides we've done before, the screenshots for all of these and the prices attached to them will be linked down in the description down below. And obviously, the first conscious choice you would make when building this gun is extending the barrel, and I would recommend that you do this every single time. There is a 15-inch barrel which gives you negative 3% recoil, and there is a 22-inch which gives you a whopping negative 10. And I believe that the investment, which is around about 18,338 rubles, is always worth it. As for grips, when we look at the RK2 versus the Magpul RVG, obviously the recoil is different, but the RVG is significantly cheaper, making it a viable option here at $77 with great ergo and great recoil control. Another viable option here is the RK1, however it's slightly more expensive. So these two are good budget options, whereas the RK2 or the RK1 on the canted is a good option as well. Looking at the stocks here, however, we have the HK-E1 and the Magpul CTR. Obviously, the Magpul CTR is better in ergonomics, while 1 point missing in recoil reduction. However, the Magpul CTR is worth a fortune on the flea market, whereas the MFT bus stock is the best budget option that I would recommend here, coming in at negative 39% recoil for a measly $74 US. And as you can see, the Magpul CTR is significantly more expensive, and so is the HK-E1. So these are choices that you have to make. The next one here is, would you go suppressed or would you go loud? I don't think the suppressors are a great option on the RPK, but if you choose any, the Hexagon actually has the best recoil reduction. However, the PWS CQB74 muzzle brake is the best option all round for recoil reduction. So you might be wondering at home, what's the difference between a meta AK-74N and an RPK? We'll just have a look at the stats. The first thing you need to realize is the RPK actually has significantly lower recoil. However, the AK-74N on the right-hand side here comes in with better ergonomics across the board and slightly better muzzle velocity. So if muzzle velocity and long-range shooting is something that you care about, then that is a reason to choose the 74N. However, I think the RPK is an absolute laser beam when built correctly. The next interesting thing here is ammo choice. Now, I do believe that BT is the best bang for buck round in the game here, coming in around about 200, sometimes on the low end, and 300 average. And this is a great round across the board for bringing people down on a budget. The next two options here are 7N39 and Golnik or BS. Now, these two are a hard choice, and I've done videos which I'll link down below for armor testing with these two, but I would always recommend 545 BS over a Golnik, even though BS is slightly more expensive, just because of that extra flesh damage and how rare running up against level 6 armor is. It's still going to be quite reliable across the board, and it's going to drop people in less shots. Now let's do a quick recoil comparison here, starting off with the meta RPK here, the long barrel version of the RPK. So you can see there wasn't really a lot of kick. And when we jump over towards the target here, we're going to be seeing a little bit of a jump up to the left here, but basically evening out with less than a foot gap here. And basically with the short barrel version with more recoil, once again, we're going to be seeing much of the sameness, except the jump on the first initial shots are a lot more higher from the initial aiming point, and you can also notice there are a lot more rounds here spread out towards the top left. So this is something you need to consider when running the shorter barrel. Is there a gun you'd like to see me do a quick series like this in the future? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe for future videos, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.